how would you explain NFTs to them? Because a lot of our audience, they're not in NFTs all the time. They hear about it on the periphery.
Sure.
And I'm curious how you would explain these projects to them. Like when they ask, what is it? What are you doing, Blake? What's an NFT?
Well, let's see what I can do. NFT stands for non-fungible token, which means that it is unique. Non-fungible means it cannot just simply be replaced with something else. If something's fungible, these two things are completely interchangeable. So we start there saying a non-fungible token is this thing that essentially has like a serial number that identifies it as completely unique. That information is stored on the blockchain, and I know this is going to get heady real fast, and people are eyes are going to roll back. But like this is how I would do it, right? So the NFTs are stored on what's called the blockchain, which is this. Think of it like the internet, like this giant network that is all it's all connected and it's all public, like transactions happening on a public ledger. So that means that like if within this network, if I send you a thing, that could be an NFT or it could be money, that transaction is logged and publicly available for anyone in the internet to see if they know where to look. And the reason that that is important is because it provides this decentralized, extremely transparent network to pass digital things around. And so what we can do as artists now is we can take our art, it could be a still image, it could be a video, it could be anything, upload it to the internet, upload it to the blockchain essentially as an NFT, and you end up with this one-of-a-kind digital item that has a footprint that follows it out all around the internet, and that's always available and transparent. And the reason that that's so important is because if we think about baseball cards or basketball cards, or we think about art prints, like you don't know, like, okay, you have a LeBron James rookie card, let's just say, and PSA is a good example because then you have a PSA 10, then at least you have a pop count, but that pop count's always changing. And now like I've like really good slabs that like look like a slab, and then they print it out, and like it turns out you get a card, you buy a card and it has a serial number, and you look and you turn out like somebody else has that same serial number because it was a forgery. That can't happen on the blockchain. Everything has like proven scarcity and guaranteed authenticity. If you're doing it right and you know where to look, those things are like automatic, and everything is a PSA 10. It won't degrade over time. It's on the internet. You can't lose it if your house gets robbed. Although there's different like digital, I guess, like cyber thievery, right? But so there's a lot of advantages to like the collectible space. And like also like think about your favorite baseball cards or your favorite basketball cards or whatever. You probably have some on a shelf, and then you have some like in a drawer that are like your next favorite, and then you have some in a box, and those are like, you're probably not going to look at them again for a while, unless like you want to like go down memory lane, or you need to like raise some money and want to sell some cards. Like you're not going to look at them. With NFTs, I think like the future is like we're going to start seeing. We already have screens everywhere, but like we're going to see more and more screens, and we're going to start seeing applications where these screens, whether it's like an app on your iPhone or on your Samsung TV or whatever, where like you can set up like a gallery of the NFTs that you own to be on rotation. And we've seen that before with like digital picture frames where you put the SD card in and it does that. That's cool. That's like tip of the iceberg. But like if you had all your favorite cards digitally, and then you had like your screen in your man cave or whatever, like you could have a really cool presentation of these NFTs, and you could like be like changing the channel of like, I'm going to look at these cards, I'm going to put up all my my Giants cards because they're on tonight. So I'm going to like, it'll be like good juju, right? If I'll have my collection, all my Giants cards will be out with me. That's exciting. And then like when you go to like hotels, like you might walk into a hotel room and the hotel has like an app, and you can literally like push a button and it'll decorate the whole room with like your art that you own. And so like everywhere you go, you can just take your art collection. That's really exciting to me. And then the other thing that I think is like super cool and really not being talked about as much as I'd like to see yet is the unlockable content side of it, where the people who own this NFT, and let's just say it's an image, it's this JPEG, I see it all, like a lot of people, and I felt the same way at first of like, I don't understand. People are just buying a JPEG. Anybody can look at it. Well, that's true that anybody can look at it, but behind that, the person who owns it, there's opportunities to add anything you want for unlockable content. And that could be, it could be a special video showing you how I made the art. It could be, it could be a poem, a story. It could be, literally, like it could be anything. And so,
come join my meet and greet here, for my top 50, NFT holders for sure. Yeah, the utility of it. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And like a practical application of that is like with Dame Lillard, some people who buy some of the higher tier NFTs will have different access to different things. And so it might be like courtside tickets to a playoff game and a meet and greet. It might be a FaceTime call with another one. It could be
Andrew wants to drop 16 bars with him. That's what he wants. He wants to rap with Dame.
We actually have we pitched that as an idea. We don't know if they're actually going to run with that as one of the things, but like we pitched the idea of the person who wins this auction gets to record 16 bars on a song with Dame. The person who wins this other auction gets to produce a song that Dame will make, so that like somebody could win both, and then they could like produce the track, lay their own beat on it. Wow. Like I said, like that honestly, that was a pretty like last minute idea we just thought of, and I don't think that actually is going to like make the cut to be in the thing. But I haven't seen the auctions go live, and we're still kind of, we'll see.
You know what I'm hearing, and I'm curious if you agree. And Kate, jump in here at any time as well. NFTs allow for the bond between a creator and his or her community to be strengthened. And I think that for the longest time, creators, artists, athletes have always wanted that, to be able to go direct to their community and build relationships. And that's the thing I'm most excited about. Isn't necessarily, I'm going to buy this NFT for 5,000 and sell it for 50 million in 20 years. It's for the creators and the artists to build really tight bonds with their community and let their community invest in their future success.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great tool for building community. But again, that kind of just depends on how the person how the token creator uses it, because we are seeing a lot of people just selling an NFT to make some quick money and not thinking about the experience or like the long-term value of it. And I think that that's fine. Like honestly, I'm all for artists getting paid. I've done my fair share of NFTs that don't have unlockable content.
But Blake, that's going to play itself out, and that's actually going to hurt the creator's brand equity down the road. So they might profit a little bit on the front end, but the people that are stuck holding the bag will always remember that creator sold me something that he or she didn't totally believe in, and they weren't invested in making this NFT special. And I think though it will help them in the short run, it could hurt them down the road with their brand equity.
I agree, but I don't think that the artists are necessarily look, it might them saying like, hey, let's get in on this, we can make quick money. That's fine. Like they might just not understand what they can do with it. And so what I think is going to happen is we're going to see, and we're already seeing, like the market's getting flooded with artists putting out their NFTs. They're all going to be these kind of basic NFTs, and some of them are going to sell. The ones, especially the artists that like have done a good job building community and building followers, those will sell. And I think that like collectively, artists are going to start to understand what's possible, and everybody's going to start stepping up their NFT game, where like every single NFT has all this extra utility. And hopefully when that happens, the artists who put out stuff early that didn't have so much utility say, hey, everyone, like the people that supported this early NFT, I'm going to give you guys something else that has, these now new features that I know now are available. I hope that's what happens.
Blake, let me ask a question on this, because I'm an idiot, but I've really dove into the NFTs and the crypto stuff a lot this year. It's not something I ever thought I was going to be, but I heard you talking, and this is where I went. This is where my brain went. And there's nothing wrong with the Dame, the mechanism of, what was the name of the company that brought you guys together? Because I'm going to have Andrew reach out to them after this episode. We'll give them another shout out. What is it? The one that brought you and Dame together?
Grow Your Base.
Grow Your Base. So we're going to meet Grow Your Base. They're going to push Cage Coin. We're going to have you draw up a nice little Cage Coin. It's going to be awesome. But Grow Your Base. But what was cool about that is you've able to, for our audience now, talk about two different ways of doing it, right? So you have that Dame one where Grow Your Base is involved. And then you're going to have the NFL Hall of Famer on the following week, right? We're not going to name who it is, but it wasn't with a Grow Your Base. And there's nothing wrong with Grow Your Base, right? So here's the fun. It's the infrastructure of it, right? It's the building it out. It's there are artists, athletes, there are people. You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of early music industry, right? There are people who are signed to labels, and who was it? Was when Jay-Z and Nas were having their rap battle, and Jay-Z said on it, he dropped, "I know who I paid. I paid Fox Searchlight." Right? Remember, he said, "I know who has it, not Nas." He said, and Jay-Z got his own. He's got his own record label, right? So what you're doing, and maybe it's because you got paid from early NFTs and had that money, but what you're doing is you're actually building up that infrastructure in Blake.art, and you're now going to be more than just an artist. You're going to have the tech, the marketing, all of the steps in the game to build your art, your art into NFTs. And it's amazing because we weren't talking about NFTs last year. So talk to me about that. If I'm right, then haven't you had to expand your business now into marketing, which you have a marketing background, and also building the tech behind the NFTs, being able to soup to nuts, bring it out there. And is that what you see artists doing next?
I don't think every artist needs to do it the way that I'm doing it. And in fact, I hope that they don't. I am doing, soup to nuts, as you say, but I know, my strengths and my weaknesses, and where I have weaknesses, I find what I think is like top tier talent, best at their craft, and I trust them and I pay them very well. And that goes for like everything in my business and my life. If I need something done and I want it done a particular way and I can't do it myself, I will find the best person to do it that I possibly can, whatever that costs.
By the way, there's another Blakeism, guys. Be polarizing. Do it for full price or do it for free. And if you can't do it, find the best person to do it and pay them well. I love it. I'm good. When we be back in 6 more months, I'll quote that one.
Yeah. And so I think that like the fact that I do have a marketing background is why I'm looking at NFTs probably differently than a lot of artists. Cause I see the individual opportunity for myself and I'm going to jump on it when I can. But like, I'm thinking more of like bigger picture of like the possibility of the tech and what that's going to unlock for like future artists. And so even in these projects, even with that Hall of Famer project, I mean, I've looped in like a half a dozen artists on it that are all contributing. And I basically went to them and I said, hey, this is the athlete, this is the collab. It's a tight deadline, but here's the opportunity. I'm super transparent on how the funds are being split. All the artists were just splitting. Because I'm wearing a few hats, I have like slightly more than all the artists than the other artists, but like all the artists are getting paid the same. And it's just kind of like, if you want to be in this party, come on. And if you don't, then that's totally fine. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, we're going to like change a bunch of lives, like in 2 weeks with some of these artists that are involved, and some of them like have incredible work. Like I said, I try to only work with the best people, but haven't necessarily gotten the recognition they deserve, and definitely haven't worked with like Hall of Fame talent that we're working with the project. So I'm excited to like kind of put those guys on and see where that takes them. So yeah, I mean, I don't think every artist needs to do the end-to-end thing, but I think that every artist should be thinking about finding the right people to do that part or handle it, whether it's a grow your base or it's whatever I'm building, which might end up being some type of service or platform or tool. Like, we don't know, and we're building it with that intention of like, let's not put a box around this yet. Let's just like do these projects and then see where that takes us.